Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Zane, better known as the King Bahamut, and welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy I. In the last episode, we got to the town of Provoca, beat up some pirates, and got a ship for our troubles, and made our journey to the next continent and the Kingdom of Elfland. And in this episode, you might be wondering what I'm doing back in Provoca. Well, off-screen, I went and did some grinding, actually, because I wanted to get some money up so I could buy some equipment, namely the short swords found at Provoca. And I also went and bought some magic. I bought the Fire 2 spell for Lewis, and the Harm 2 spell for Risa. And that's actually important for what we're going to be doing today, because today we're going to be setting off to the east, because there's actually a very important spot, and if you are familiar with this game, you probably already know what it is I'm talking about. But first we have to deal with these wolves. And thankfully, because I have upgraded my equipment, my attackers are both doing more damage and they're hitting more often, which is very important and very helpful. So all of the missing that happened last episode, well, I say that and Lewis misses. And we have 2 attacks miss, actually. Yeah. Right. So we have to go off. I don't think this is it. Or is it? Only one way to know for sure. We have some arachnids here. So these are stronger variations of the spider enemies that we encountered. Actually, I'm going to have you use a fire spell. You're too strong for my regular attack to deal with in one shot. Oh shit. Brian's been poisoned. Poison is pretty much what it sounds like. You know, take damage over time. Not really something you want to deal with too much. And unfortunately, I do have a pure potion. So I can actually have Brian drink that. And hopefully that will make this battle a little easier. And now I'm poisoned. Great. Luckily, I think that poison is a status that wears off when you exit a battle. So it's not something you'll have to deal with. It's not like early Pokemon games where the poison persists after the battle's over, which is never fun. Come on, guys. Alright, there we go. We finally got one of them down. And 2 down. We got a critical hit on that one. Now, it's a little weird, because the poison will actually sap the HP sort of abruptly without giving you a little message letting you know that person took damage, or any sort of indicator for that matter. But not actually that annoying of a status. Alright, so with that encounter out of the way, we can... Oh, whoops. I was wrong! The poison does stay around after. And that's actually slightly obnoxious, because I don't have a good way of dealing with that right now. I'm going to hit the select button real quick, and I'm going to move Brian into the front. Wow, that noise is so annoying. Oh, and it does a lot of damage too. We have an iguana here. These are I don't think these enemies have any sort of gimmick to them. So I think that they're not something that you need to be super worried about. Unless, of course, your attacks all miss. Alright. God, that poison sound effect is annoying. And it's gonna continue until my character gets knocked out, isn't it? Joy. Probably help if I could remember where the item shop is. It's on the other side of town. Oh, no, it just leaves you with 1 HP. Well, it's still annoying, because it has that freaking audio cue. And it leaves you with 1 HP, so it's not something you want to be. So I'm actually going to buy a couple of pure potions for the road. I think at least 4. I'm actually going to buy a couple of other items. I'm going to buy this tent, for example. We can have a place to sleep, because it's actually going to be kind of useful. And I'll buy an extra heal potion. Let's use the pure potion to get rid of poison. Then press the select button. And actually, speaking of the select button, there's something else that I need to show off once. Actually, I can do it right here. It didn't work. Again. Come on, I was able to do this earlier. I may have to wait until we get out of town, so I'm gonna heal up at the inn, and then get out of town, and then I'll show what I was trying to show off. If I could afford to stay at the inn. Fuck. Nothing is going right today. This episode's going to be longer than I thought it was. So, is it going to work now? There we go. So, I mentioned that this was a thing in the last episode. If you remember back in episode... yeah, it was the last episode, actually. There was a broom that said you could push B in the select button. That brings up the world map, and that's actually kind of important because it'll allow you to see where it is you're going and where you need to go, obviously. But I'm just going to cut away until we get to the spot that I wanted to show off. Or I could die on the way over. That's the first death, really? That's the first death we have on camera. Just me getting sniped when I have no health because of poison. Sorry about that, folks. Death is really obnoxious because any character that dies, they don't get experience points, meaning that they're going to fall behind in levels. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to even revive my red mage because I don't have a whole lot of monies. So I may have to do a couple battles with him on the floor. Let's switch Brian back into the lead so that I don't have my white mage up front and center to be bopped all over the place. I am 1 gold short of my character being revived, for fuck's sake. This is just the episode where nothing is going to go right. You know what? I was gonna cut this battle and cut until I was ready to go again. But you know what? I'm feeling cross right now. Let's show off the Fire 2 spell. This is a powerful bit of magic. If I am ever allowed to use it, fuck's sake. It hits all the enemy party members, and it does a lot of damage for how powerful, for being able to, for this stage in the game, sorry. Blech. I'm tripping over my words a lot. Which is how you can tell I'm going to be a great Let's Player, as I trip over my words constantly. Sound very disorganized. As you can see, this spell actually one-shot almost the entire party of wolves. Alright. I think that's enough for both a trip to the clinic and to the inn. Which, please let it be enough. I just want one thing to go correct. Alright. That was the wrong menu. Switch me into the front because I am the leader here. Even though I am one of only 2 characters who has been defeated. If we go into the status screen, you'll notice that my red mage requires a bit more experience than some of the others. You'll also notice that Lewis actually died in a battle off screen. Alright. No more messing around. I'm going to cut until we get back to the place where we were originally before all of this poison nonsense happened. And then we'll get on with the actual topic of this video, I swear. Oh, wow, we have a new enemy. It's a green wolf, also known as a werewolf. That's all. I'm cutting away. Okay, back to where we were. If we bring up the world map here, we can see that we are on the little cross sign is our location. This is actually a very important spot, and those of you who have played this game before probably know this. So I'm actually going to do a very naughty thing and create a save state, because this is actually kind of a dangerous exploit that I am doing. We get into a battle, and we have a zomble. Not a zombie, a zomble. The enemies on the top 4 spaces of this peninsula are much stronger than anything you would be fighting normally. There's only one of this guy here, but this guy's from a dungeon that we do not have access to yet, and he will probably kick our ass if we aren't careful. So I'm just gonna pelt him with fire spells and some powerful attacks. Yep, see? He's doing a pretty decent chunk of damage to us. He also has a pretty healthy amount of HP. But if we can beat him, the rewards we get will be very worth it. Cast fire. Probably should not be casting harm because I want my white mage to have spell charges for... Oh, there we go. He's dead. And for defeating this one enemy, we get 262 experience and 1,050 gold. If you can beat enemies on this peninsula, known as the Peninsula of Power by fans of this game, the rewards are very worth it. But you have to be careful because the enemies are strong, and they will kill you very quickly if you are not careful, which is why I'm going to make another save state. If you're playing this on something that doesn't allow save states, then I recommend using a tent or a cabin, because that can also allow you to save your game. Now we have some frost wolves here. I will actually fight these, I think. Because I can just use the Fire 2 spell. You'll want at least the one character who has the Fire 2 spell before you attempt to use this exploit. Ooh, that's not good. Yep. That's the one problem with Frost Wolves, is that they have the ability to use Frost, which is a party-wide attack, and quite strong, as evidenced by the fact that my red mage is now dead. And I don't feel like dealing with that, so I'm gonna live with my save state. Let me get into the exact same battle. Let's not. Ideally, you want to be fighting the Zombles, which is not what I'm getting. I guess this RNG is locked in. Locked me into this. Which, that's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Fire 2. Gonna make absolutely certain that my black mage, or that Lewis, sorry, doesn't move in time before one of these fuckers uses Frost and murders me. Yep, there we go. We have Frost, and I'm dead again. It's like, even when things do go right, they don't go right. Fuck's sake, am I just gonna get Frost Wolves? That's what the game has decided. Lewis, please, just cast fire. Come on. There we go. 170 damage. Thankfully, these guys are weak to the Fire 2 spell, so if you hit them with it, you can possibly take them all out at once. But obviously, as you've seen, it's very dangerous to fight these ones in particular. And the Fire 2 spell won't always kill them. That's the one downside of spells that target multiples. And unfortunately, I aimed all my attacks at wolves who have died, so they're all going to not work. That's why I've heard some people who have defended the attacking monsters that are dead not working, saying it's like, oh, it forces you to pay attention. And that's nice, but it can also screw up your strategies a lot. But thankfully, we got like 600 experience and 1200 gold for that. So I'd say that was worth it, even if I got my butt handed to me a couple times. It was worth it. Not that I'd want it to happen. So from that, we are level 7 already, and we have over 2,000 gold, and basically, you're gonna want to grind in this spot once you have the Fire 2 spell in order to boost up your characters and money so that you can buy all of the magics that you want. Oh, this is interesting. So these Zombles, we have 4 of them here. This can actually, this could be really good or really bad, depending on my luck. And I'm gonna hope it's really good. So, the nice thing about Zombles is that because they are undead enemies, they are weak to both the fire and harm spell, as you probably saw with the one we encountered earlier. And that's great because if you can get both a harm 2 and a fire 2 off, you can potentially wipe them out, which means that because we're fighting 4 of them here, we can get a truckload of experience. Assuming that we survive this battle, which, that doesn't seem to be what happened. That's gonna be a reset. Thankfully, because I saved, I can just go back to where I started from. But I don't remember if I don't think I think I effed up the respawn rate, so hang on a second. Oh no, it's set to 3. Whoops. Okay, so trying this again. These trolls here are kind of, oh, this may not actually be all that ideal. These trolls are kind of dangerous because they are not undead. So unlike the zombies, they will not take damage from the harm spell. They are, I think, weak to fire though, so they will take... Oh, that actually did a pretty good amount of damage to them. Ooh, but they do a lot of damage. All of these enemies do a lot of damage, even to our fighter. Harm 2. Okay, we got rid of one of the zombies. But unfortunately, doesn't do jack shit against the trolls. I guess you could say they trolled us. Do-ho-ho. Alright, thankfully Brian was able to pick up the slack and knock that other troll out. I want my red mage to come in with a healing spell, and Brian can knock this guy. Isaac can hopefully finish off that last zombie. Thank you. Ooh, that was dangerous. Now, all we need to do is hope that we can knock the troll out before he knocks us out. Let me just cast ice on him, just in case. Okay, there we go. That battle should actually give us the most amount of... Yep, 835 experience and almost 3,500 gold. Wow, that's an impressive sum. So yeah, we are rich now. We're also a little bit beat up. Okay, more than a little bit beat up. Oh, excuse me, but we should probably see if we can spend that money on some new stuff, which of course is going to require us to schlep all the way back to Provoca. But I think you'll find that it'll be worth the trip. So I will see you back there in just a moment. Alright, here we are back in Elfland. I think I said I was going to go back to Provoca, and I did, to heal, but I actually wanted to come here, because I wanted to see if we can get the rest of the spells at the magic shops. I want to buy Lightning 2, and actually I do think we have enough to get everything. The only other thing that's really of worth here anymore is the Silver Sword, which, I don't know if I want, to be honest. But we can buy Cure 2, and the Heal spell, and have some left over for another Cure 2 for my Red Mage. So the only other thing that's really of worth here is the Copper Bracelet, which is actually a pretty good piece of armor for our mages. But I don't know how much more grinding I want to do. You know what? I'll say, because I actually do have one more area I want to go to before we end off the episode. You'll remember in the last episode there was a townsperson in Elfland who said that there was a creepy castle to the north that he didn't really, that he tried to explore, but was creeped out by. And I want to see if we can get there real quick before we end the episode and just see how well we can handle the enemies on the journey there. Because if we can't handle the enemies very well, then I may just decide to do a little bit more grinding, because we have a dungeon coming up in not too long. That is not the castle we're going to, actually, but it's kind of a rough dungeon. I recommend being at least level 8, but you'll probably want to be somewhere... actually, it's probably better if you try to get to, like, level 10 or so. It has some random encounters in it that can be kind of a pain, and there's also some mid-bosses towards the end of it that are a bit of a hassle if you're not well prepared. And we're getting ambushed by ogres. I'm surprised I have gone this long without making a Shrek joke whenever these ogres pop up. Alright, with that out of the way, we are on the wrong side of the river. That's interesting. Okay. If we go up here... Yes, this is where it is. We have this castle here. It's full of bats. Kiki! Apparently they are big fans of Kiki's delivery service. And we have this dude right here with green hair and purple robes. Astos double-crossed us. Go south to the Cave of Marsh to retrieve the crown, then bring it directly back to me. So we have our next objective. We have to go southwest to the Marsh Cave. But, as I said before, Marsh Cave is kind of a challenging dungeon, so... what I'm going to do is, in between this episode and the next, I'm actually going to do a little bit more grinding at the Peninsula of Power to see if I can get my gold reserves back a little bit and equip our characters for the journey to the Marsh Cave and eventually through the Marsh Cave. And that's actually going to be an interesting episode because that's the first dungeon I'm going to have to tackle, and I'm going to have to figure out how I'm going to handle dungeons, because I need directions with some of these games' dungeons, because they are... they're not super obtuse, but they're not exactly straightforward. But I will cross that bridge when I get to it. So, until next time, this has been Zane, better known as the King Bahamut, and I will see you guys in the next part. If you like this video, please hit that like button, leave a comment down below telling me what you liked about it, and you can also subscribe and click the little bell icon for notifications if you wish to see more, and I will see you guys next time.